For our writing process, you'll notice that I'm using the template provided at the top of the Socratic Seminar worksheet. Your process should look similar to this if you missed class. The first step in the hero's journey is available for everybody or anybody who missed class or for anybody who found it difficult to complete the rest of the assignment because you may not have completed the book yet. So here's my process. You'll notice that I pulled a piece of text evidence. We did that together today in virtual class in a breakout room with a partner. From there, we begin to write our response. I'll model that for you right now. The response is to the question in the prompt, how is Nixia an example of the hero's journey? My responsibility at this point is to, in your responsibility, is to identify key steps in the ordinary world. In class, we watched the Shrek video to remind us of all of those different phases in the hero's journey. Feel free to use any of the graphics that are in last week's module to help you with that as well. So here's what that process looks like. My first sentence comes directly from the template. Remember, when you use the template, be sure to use all of these templates by starting at the top and working your way down to be completely finished. So altogether, by the time you're finished with any of these templates, you should have a total of 9 full sentences that all connect and are using the transitional phrases required to show your skill level for 7th and 8th grade language arts. I say that because the standards are all embedded into all of these different critical thinking and also academic writing responses. So my first step is going to be to start with this one bullet point and work my way all the way down to 9 if I were to number all of these. So we start here and we start here and we finish down here. It's not pulling one from each category. So if you've gotten stuck on those templates, it gives you a quick overview of what that process is like. Here's my first step in that process. You'll notice this template fits the learning that we're doing in the critical thinking because it's telling a sequence. Not only do you have to identify the part of the hero's journey that was assigned to you or that's presented first, you have to explain the stages that go along with it in a sequential order. So my first sentence is going to be ordinary world began for Emmett when he first decided to take the challenge of going into space. All of that is my own critical reading and critical thinking. That is a claim, but notice how I have not used word I. Also in virtual class, we learned the difference between an argument and an opinion. I need to continue to creating my argument by giving more facts and more explanation and details. My next sentence is during the ordinary world. Notice how I'm pulling in facts from the plot and the characters and the setting. My next sentence is for the past. My next part of the template that I pull in next is moving on to the next category to sequence several years, decades later. The next part of the process is staying inside the sequence category. The next step, remember, I'm always focusing on the phase or the part of the hero's journey cycle that I've been assigned or that I've selected. Moving on to the support your ideas. As blank continued, look at my writing so far. Notice how I'm following the template. Ord- Ordinary began for Emmett when he first decided to take. I'm going to go back. I made a mistake. I did not include the full phase. Ordinary, full title of the phase. Ordinary World began for Emmett when he first decided to take the challenge of going to space. During Ordinary World, Emmett learns that his mother is severely ill. For the past few years, his family has been struggling with this and other financial difficulties. Several years later, he's met with an opportunity to go into space and will be awarded money and free healthcare. The next step in the ordinary world was for him to realize his own circumstances. As Emmett continued, his journey took him into space. I'm going to continue working in the template. My next sentence is yet over time. Notice how the template is guiding my critical thinking and my knowledge of the book in its events, characters, and setting and plot plays a critical role in my response. The following year, step, or stage. This is where I'm going to choose to pull in my quote that I got for text evidence. He said, I'm going to just copy and paste that directly. By the end is my next sentence stem. And I just introduced the quote, so now I have to explain it. And I'm thinking back to my own prompt and bringing it back to ordinary world in the hero's journey in my own critical thinking to make a strong sentence that answers the prompt. I always suggest that when you get to the to close section of the templates, look back at the prompt and make sure that you're answering it fully. In this case, the prompt is, how is Nixia an example of the hero's journey? By the end of this statement, My last sentence, blank, finally blank. Okay, let's double check. My full paragraph follows the entire template from start to finish, from the very first bullet point all the way to the last, using all of the sentence stems. To write an argument, notice how I don't have any first person, and notice how I'm providing an argument rather than an opinion. Follow that procedure, and you will be able to post that into today's assignment to participate in the Socratic seminar discussion.